Welcome back to another episode of Checkered Roots. We got another episode coming at you today. This is episode number 4, and joining me today, I have Miss Jaylee Reed. So Miss Jaylee Reed, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Let's get this thing going and let's hear a little bit about you. Kind of where you're from, what you like to race, and what you are. I understand you're freshly out of high school, so what you are planning to do for work, or kind of what you have going on in the meantime.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm from Paragould, Arkansas, and I race at the Crowley's Ridge here in Paragould. And the past 3 years, this is my third year racing. I've had two separate cars, and they've both been Monte Carlos in the cruiser class.
The cruiser class. So is that kind of like, what I've learned is that everybody kind of calls cars in different part of the country a little bit different stuff. So the Monte Carlo, so that'd be like almost like a street stock kind of division. It's
Yeah, kind of.
on and are
It's
you're on
in
dirt, right?
yes. And it's kind of our cruiser is also a little bit more of the like beginner too. Like people normally start there and then after a couple years like move up to modifieds and things like that.
Okay, so is that a class? So if it's more of like a beginner kind of class, is it a lot of like everything has to be OEM or by manufacturer? Like, is there a lot of modifications you can make, or does it have to be pretty well stock?
They're pretty lenient on it. Like people normally start stock and then kind of get the hang of it, but there's kind of like a line that's drawn before you have to like move up to other classes.
I got you. So you said you just started racing 3 years ago. So what drew you towards it, or what kind of made you want to get going into it, and what kind of made you go the cruiser route, if you will?
I actually at our racetrack, the cruiser class started as a it's a two-person car. Two people ride in it at all times, and the driver had the steering wheel and the passenger was gas and brakes. And now we kind of retired that and now it's two people are in it all the time to keep it kind of fair like weight-wise. But now I have all the control. My passenger doesn't have to do the gas and brakes or anything. And it's what kind of everyone around me like starts with the cruiser. And my dad, I grew up with my dad racing for years, and he kind of like lured me in that direction. And I was kind of worried if I did any other class, like not having him with me, because even though we can't like talk because it's so loud and we have the helmets on, he still can kind of be like, if I'm doing something and it's a totally bad decision, he's there to be like, no, or pull off, or like if I'm obviously hesitating, like telling me to keep going or whatever. And so I like kind of the security of having him there, even if he can't do much.
I, I'm not gonna. I mean, that's really cool, and I get how that would be like really beneficial and why that would be like a good rookie class. But we're not gonna glance over the fact I did not realize that there was a dirt oval class that had not only two-person cars, but somebody would control the gas and brake, and someone would steer. So I
Yes.
have never heard of that. That's crazy. That's really cool though. I mean, don't get me
You
wrong,
have
that's
to
cool,
have
but I've
a
never
lot of
heard of that.
class.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So so you're still racing with your dad in the car now. You have all the control.
Yes.
Okay. So then what's the path forward then? So are you looking to move into modifieds in the future, or are you staying in the cruisers, or what do you kind of want to do?
I really want to get super comfortable in the car and then I plan on moving up to modifieds. Like my first year, my first and second year, I drove this same car, and it was a car that we just like bought. And the first year we didn't do anything to it. We just trusted that the car knew what it was doing, and it was huge. It was so bulky, way bigger than I needed to be driving. And we just kind of was getting the hold of like being on the track. It's such a different experience, and it's nothing like people love to say if they were out there because they love to drift on the real road that they would be so good at it, and it's nothing like what you expect at all. So I'm just totally getting used to like the controls and stuff. And then the second year we spent more time tweaking it to what I like, because every driver is different and needs like different controls. And then now we have a really nice car this third year. It's way thinner. I think it's way faster and easier to handle. And once I'm like kind of dominating in my class and I'm really giving a competition and I feel comfortable without my dad, then I'll move up to modified.
Awesome. Yeah, that's I think that's pretty consistent with a lot of racers, especially starting out. I mean, if you come from money, it's probably a little bit different, but I think that and more what this podcast and this interview system is kind of geared towards is more the people who don't come from a ton of money where it's like you have the brand new crate motors or you have the top of the line chassis or you have the nice $200,000 haulers. Like I think that a lot of us and a lot of the people who are listening to this, or especially me, I'm definitely going to be the dude who pulls up with like the 98 chassis with a motor that I pulled out of a junkyard that I pieced together like Frankenstein. And I'm just going to go see how we can run that night. And I'm going to load it back onto my trailer that I probably had to weld together before we came to the track. So I think that that's your path that you went forward in the first 3 years of, okay, I just need to learn how to drive on an oval because I think that that's also people will watch NASCAR or they'll watch like the high limits sprint car racing and they're like, oh, dude, I can drift a car, like I could do that in a heartbeat. So I think that that's also very. I don't think that you're alone in all that either. Like first year, I'm gonna learn how to drive. Second year, okay, maybe I should pay attention to the car now because this thing drives like a boat. And then the third year, all right, now we're starting to get somewhere and we're going to start putting some stuff together. So hey, maybe in the fourth year or hell, maybe in the third year you'll put it together and you'll find yourself some, wins or championships and stuff like that.
Like some people, we do have some younger racers at my track. Like our youngest is 14 and he's driving super nice car. I think he comes from a racing family. And I'm like, the amount of damage I did my first year, even if we could afford that car, I did not deserve a super nice car. I had to work out how to stay in my lane and not hit other people or get hit by others.
And I don't know about you. So I've recently been working with a B modified team, and there's some E mod racers that we pit with, and I've never driven a race car. I've never. I mean, I did like the NASCAR experience at Kansas Speedway, and that's about the extent of it. But that's so dumbed down that it's like driving your SUV down the freeway. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
they've offered for me to go hot lap their cars like after the races are done. But like you just said, I'm so like I get so nervous as soon as they say that. It's like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I don't want to go like, yeah, man, I'll go hot lap your car and then I wad it up into the fence the first time I go around a corner. So like it's nice and I need to take advantage of those opportunities and I think that anybody should take advantage of those types of opportunities, but I don't want to go I would rather wreck my own car because at least I know
Mhm.
I have to fix it than me having to try to kiss ass and go try to help somebody fix their car so they can race it the next weekend because they let me wad it up in the fence afterwards. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't know. So if you started 3 years ago, you're racing with your dad. Has your dad always been a racer, and it just took you a while to come around to it, or is that kind of are you guys kind of going into this adventure together? Kind of how is that whole dynamic?
Oh, he is the pro. He taught me everything. He teaches other people out at the track everything. He started when he was 14.
Oh wow.
And he kind of started because my grandpa, his dad, he was never a racer, but he was really in the like scene. Like he is, I think he turned 80 this year. And while most other people his age are probably at home, like watching TV, he goes to the shop to work on cars every single day with his friends. Like he's really into it. And so my dad started when he was 14 and he did it the whole time I grew up. Like we have a life-size poster of him in his race suit that he won for like an award for winning a race. We have all the trophies as tall as me and everything. And we still have like some of his cars in the back and they're all so nice. But when my sister was born, I was 8 years old and he kind of like life slowed down, life got busy. He kind of had to take a step back from it, and he was still into it and appreciated it and kind of helped. My cousin also took it up, I think right when he turned 16. And so it's all three of us all the time. The whole like family is out there. And so when he took a step back, I kind of like forgot about it because I was so young at the track. I remember enjoying it, but I wasn't one of those kids that was so into it. Like I had all the cars, I was thinking about it all the time. I just kind of liked being there and seeing the cool stuff, but I wasn't like, oh, that's what I want to be when I grow up. Like I hear a lot of kids say that. And just when I turned 16, it actually is really weird. I hated driving. When I turned 16, I was like, it's time to take my test. I have to. I can't keep riding the bus every day to school. I have to take this test. So I actually got a car when I turned 15 because it was my dream car. It was an old Volkswagen Bug.
Oh
And so
Lord, there you go.
they were like, they found it and they were like, we can't pass this up or we might not find another one. So I got that for my 15th birthday. And when I took my driving test, I failed the written portion the first try. And then for the driving portion, when we got there, they told us that we couldn't have any check engine lights on for the test. So I had to drive my mom's brand new car. And I never driven it before. And I was used to brakes that like you had to put your
Mash
whole
them.
force
Yeah, you
into these
gotta.
brakes.
Yeah, you are the break at that point.
Yes. And my mom's was so new. If you sneeze too hard in the back seat of the car, the brakes are feeling it. And so I drove this car and I was so nervous and the whole time you can see the instructor in the passenger seat. She's like flying forward. And I'm shaking, I'm sweating, I'm on the verge of tears the whole time. And she was like, if you do that one more time, we're gonna turn around and restart. And I was like, I have to take this here. I have to pass it. I can't come back. Like, I don't know anybody who took the driving portion twice. It can't be me. So I passed it. I got serious and I did it. And she gave me my license, thank God. And I had to drive to school every single day. And I would take probably an extra 10 to 15 minutes to school every day just so I could take back roads because I was too nervous to drive on the railroad. And I would like freak out all the time. And so when I turned 16, I was like, I feel like I have to race. I don't know why, but I was like, this is for me. I remember my mom being like, but why? Like, you don't
Right.
even like driving. And I was like, but something about it called me. And I don't know why, because we hadn't even been at the racetracks in so long. So I kind of like just for my first like to get a hold of it, my cousin let me ride passenger in his car because he also drives a cruiser. And everybody told me they were like, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it so much. It's so scary. I've been in there. It's not fun at all. So I'm freaking out all night of like, I can't do this. I don't know if I want to do this. And so I get in the car and the whole time I'm like gripping onto anything I can hold on to. I'm freaking out for like the first lap. And then after the first lap, I was like, this isn't that bad. It's like a roller coaster. It's so much fun. I liked even more that I wasn't in charge. And so the week after that, we got out there in my car and I was the one in charge. And my mom was just like a nervous wreck. She hates it. She still hates it. And I don't blame her at all. Like the thing she sees out there, because it was all grown men too. Every
Right.
single person in class was a grown man. There was one other woman, and we didn't like each other either. She was like, I like that also they didn't take me as I'm a 16-year-old girl. They had to take it easy on me. They had to avoid me. Like everybody treated me like I was any other part of the competition.
Yeah, and I think I mean that's how it should be. I mean it's an all-inclusive sport, right? It's anybody can jump in and go, whether you're a 16-year-old girl or an 80-year-old man or, somewhere in between there. It's fun for everybody, and I like that that's the experience that you got for you. So it wasn't like it's an authentic experience and it's exactly what it's supposed to be. So wait, when you went out for the first time, so if it was the cruiser, was that before or after they made the passenger stop controlling the gas and the brake? Like, did you have to
There was
control the gas and the brake the first time you went
no,
out there? Oh, thank God.
I was lucky. I was lucky.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, that's a hell of a way to get thrown into it. Be like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna steer, but please lift so I can steer the car. I know you don't know what you're doing and you're freaking out. But that's awesome. No, that's awesome. And then I liked another. I can relate a lot, and I liked something that you said where it calls to you, and it's. I've tried to explain this because for some people who don't know me or haven't talked to me in the last like 3 or 4 years, this whole racing thing probably seems like extremely random that I'm like starting
Yeah.
this now because I've never really talked about it. Like I've always been like a NASCAR fan and stuff like that, and I've liked racing like my whole life, but like I've never talked to anybody really about it because I didn't really have friends who were into it, and just my dad and I were kind of into it. But trying to explain the whole it kind of calls to you thing to someone who doesn't understand that I haven't found the right way to do it yet, but I haven't thought of it in that way. So well, thank you for shedding some light on that for me. Now maybe I could just tell people that like it's just a calling, you wouldn't get it, just don't worry about it. But
Like, it's just something I need. Like, I don't know. You just feel it and you're like, and some people, they might be like, because they appreciate cars, they think that's something they want to do. And then they get out there and it's nothing like they thought and they don't need that. But I love it. I have fun. I actually look forward to it every weekend. Like my first year, I was working more than I had ever worked at like a little sweet shop kind of. And we were so slow all day long because everybody was at work. And I was like, I can't wait to get out of here and go to the track. Like that's all I look forward to all the time.
right? No, yeah, 100%, 100%. I'm like that now, and I'm not even the one getting in the car. I just like going to the track and helping, man. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. What is it that draws you back to racing now that you're doing it? What is kind of the thing that you love the most about it? Like what keeps you wanting to come back or keeps feeding the fire within you?
Well, I love the people. Even if I like you're not out there in a car, even if I was just out there, the people are so much fun and so nice. And since I am out there, like a lot of them are really supportive and people I never would have met without it. But when I get out there in my car, I there are nights that I just am I'm angry at myself, I'm angry at the car, I'm angry at everything. And I'm like, but I still, no matter how angry I get, I want to be out there next week. And I like can't explain the disappointment, but still waiting to get disappointed again. Like the going fast, even though it makes me a little nervous, like it's so much fun. And the competition, I feel like I don't have any sort of competition any other way that I'm like, I need this. I've never needed something more than this win right now. Like I just love competing against other people and it's friendly. They're not angry no matter what I do. I'm not angry at the other people. It's all is fair in the racing world.
Yeah, right. That's a good way to phrase that. That's a good way. You need to put that on it. That's a hell of a quote. I like that a lot. That I'm excited to how did you phrase it? Like the disappointment, but I'm excited to get disappointed again next week. I love that. That is that is a that is golden. That is golden. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but what does the future look like for you, or what does Jaylee Reed have for her in her future with racing or life or anything like that? What does the future look like for you?
I just right now I feel like there's nothing that people see me and they're like, wow, she is so much. She has a talent for it or anything. And I'm okay with that. I don't feel like I have anything to prove right now because I know what journey I'm on and I know eventually I will be to a level where I'm winning. I'm really proud of where I'm at. And I do want to get into a faster, cooler car and just to a point where I'm like I'm doing it all by myself. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not good at working on the cars. I always say like people ask me questions about the car and I'm like I'm just the driver. I don't know cuz my dad does it all, but I know that there's days where no one can come over and help and when Saturday comes and we can't get out there, I'm like, well, if only I'm home all the time. I could work on this car anytime. If I really sat down and learned how to work on this car, we would be out there or we'd be doing better because I would have spent more time on it. So I really want to become more independent in working on the car and knowing the car inside and out.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that too. That's part of the journey that I'm on. Sounds like you're kind of on a similar one of I'm not a mechanic. I don't I mean I'm understanding engines more now the more that I get into them, but yeah, if you were to give me an engine and say this is what's going on, like okay, I'll take it apart and I'll tell you like maybe that's right, maybe that's not, so I can definitely relate to that and I feel like a lot of people can. So I wish you all the best in that journey, and if anybody watching wants to help Jaylee learn some more about engines or, your dad, I think that'd be a great thing to shadow and a great thing to learn. But that's some really cool goals. I can definitely respect that. Um, what is, and, I know you've been in it for 3 years, but, everybody seems to have at least one story just like this. But what's one of those, like, you would not believe this thing that you've seen at the track?
Um, we have a lot of drama. Like the men out there, they just love to, this is their whole life. They're so passionate. And if anything goes wrong, they just want someone to kind of pin it on. And it's always at the moment, it seems very serious. And you're kind of like, maybe I shouldn't be involved in that. But I like that it's not main drama. The next day, they're apologizing. The next week, they're buddies hanging out
Right.
and they're fine with each other. But we have had people get out of their car and take their helmet off and throw it at each other in the person in the other car. Like, and not even once, like multiple times.
Oh, my Lord.
And I really, they're really passionate about it.
Yeah, that's short track racing, as they say. Huh.
Yeah.
What is some of the best advice that you could give to people like me or to people who were like if you could talk to your older self as you were getting into racing, someone that doesn't come from racing, someone that, and I know that you did, but something that doesn't come from racing, doesn't have the endless funds, and like for me, I'm the first in the family to try to do this. So what is some advice if you could go back and talk to your previous self, or that you could give me for trying to get into this sport?
I would just say it's like all about the passion. It doesn't matter if other people don't think it's the path for you, because people definitely didn't think it was for me. It doesn't matter if you're knowledgeable about it, because there's always people out there that want to grow the sport and are happy to have anyone to join. It really is just about you finding the right people to help you and you enjoying it. That is all that matters.
That's super solid advice. I appreciate that. I'm gonna use that definitely because there is people that will look at you a little bit sideways. You're like, no, I'm gonna go race cars, and they're just like, oh, okay, like I guess sure, go for it. Um, well, I mean that kind of wraps up my questions. I mean, if there's anything that you want to talk about, if there's a message that you want to try to send, or if there's people you want to try to shout out, the last little part of the interviews that I've been doing, I just kind of open the floor to you guys, and anything you want to talk about, we can talk about whatever you want, and we can kind of steer this thing anywhere you want to go. So by all means, the floor is yours.
Okay, I think the only other thing I want to talk about is like being a girl. I know I probably, if people see my TikTok, I milk it. It's all about I'm a girl and I'm a racer or whatever. And I know some people probably think of that as me showing off, and I just think I'm like special or different. But it really does matter, because I never saw, growing up, I don't think I knew a single woman racer, and no one ever joins for that. And you don't realize how important it is, because growing up, everybody hears like you can do whatever you want, it doesn't matter. And we're not living in like the 1900s anymore. And women know they can race, but just because they know they can doesn't mean they will or that they think of it. And you don't think it's important until like I go to the track and my fire suit is hot pink. It's all
Hell
pink.
yeah.
And people just think I'm there watching until I come out in my fire suit, and little girls are just like drawn to me like bugs to a light or something, and they love to tell me things you would never hear from adults or other teenagers. Like they just love to tell me how amazing it is and how they want to be just like me and things like that. And I'm like, if that's something I can do to other girls, I would love. Like, we worry that it's a dying sport. The track gets smaller every year and things like that. And I'm like, the next generation, if I can get them out there, I would be super proud to say I brought even one racer to the track. And I also, being a girl, I heard some rude things. There were some just salty grown men that they didn't get the start I did and they didn't get the support I did. So they feel the need to take that out on me. And I'm not angry about it. I think all of them have learned from it and I don't hold the grudge against them. They'll still come up and talk to me sometimes. And it was things like, just because I wasn't at their level and I wasn't as fast as them or I wasn't as quick thinking as them, they would love to just make comments and maybe they thought it was funny, but I took it to heart and I was upset about it. And like also I was in pageants in high school. So sometimes I would come from the track in the pageant gear. And it's not just like makeup, it's the hair
The
to the
whole
heavens.
nine, huh?
Yeah, you can't even see my face. It's everything. So I would come to the track right after that, and people would love to say, like, who are you trying to impress here? You don't need makeup at the track. And also, that's something I've noticed with other girl racers is they feel the need to prove themselves by dulling themselves. They will be girlier before racing and then come to the track, no makeup, no pink on their clothes. My whole car's pink, my whole fire suit's pink, and I will come with a full face of makeup if I feel like I want to. Like, it's nothing, just because you enjoy one thing doesn't mean you have to not enjoy another for it. Like, I will happily enjoy both things.
Oh, yeah. And if people don't get anything else out of this entire interview, I know that's probably my favorite thing that I will take from this is that empowerment thing because my I have a 3-year-old daughter and I have a soon to be 5-year-old son, but my daughter loves race cars and watching racing with daddy and is absolutely fearless. So it's really special, and I feel like any girl dads out there with little girls who are kind of the same as mine, and I'm sure that your dad feels the same exact way that if they can get that fulfillment out of something that you can enjoy together with them. Obviously, if my daughter decided to go the pageant route, I would fully support her and I would absolutely love her for it and she would be the most beautiful pageant girl that's ever walked up there. But I can't really go enjoy that with her because that's her deal. But with racing, and I think that's what's really cool about racing is it can be a whole family ordeal. So the fact that you can empower those little girls to want to pursue that, and the fact that you have people coming up to you and they want to be like you at such a young age, might I add, like I think the future for you is very bright, and that you own it, and it's awesome, and I love to stand behind exactly what you're trying to do with that because I would hope that somebody would want to be that role model for the female community like that for those little girls because I hope that my daughter can look up to somebody like that someday. So hats off to you on that. That's awesome. Great for you.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about? Any kind of shout outs that you want to do? Anything like that? Like I said, I've kind of got through my questions, so the floor is yours.
We're Reed Racing on Facebook. You can keep up with us. That's REED. And we just post all everything. If we're out there, we had a great night. We're all celebrating the wins together. Or we've had a rough past couple of races. We posted about those too. Or I would even take tips or anything or feedback. And just thank you for doing this. I'm happy to see anyone invested in racing, especially with your background. You didn't come from it, you didn't have people pushing you towards this. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, no, and thank you again. I will be sure to check out Reed Racing on Facebook, and I will definitely make sure it's plugged in the description of the video. And yeah, no, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you for having me, you too.